So in this picture, you can observe carefully. So as we know that if you are coming downwards, the thickness of these ventricles is keep on increasing because they have to pump the blood throughout the body with a very, very high pressure. That is what I am saying. Now, as we know that next you can see, this is what we should call it as ventricles. Now, these ventricles are covered by a sheet of muscles. You can notice it. The sheet of muscles are very, very sensitive muscles which will protect the heart. These muscles are called as what we should call pericardiac muscles. What we should call pericardium. And do you understanding, all of you? So thick muscles you can observe here. Where they are protecting the heart. Can you able to notice it, all of you? This is called as this muscle, thin sheet of layer which has been surrounding by the heart, which will protect the heart. That is what you have to remember. Do you understanding, all of you? So the sheet of a tissue called as pericardium protect the muscular heart. That is what we should call it as pericardium. Please, all of you note it down. A sheet of tissue. What is that called as pericardium. Understand? Pericardium will what it will do? It will protects the what? Protects the muscular heart. Protects the heart, you can remember. That's all. So it is like a thin layer which has been surrounding throughout the heart, which will protect that muscular heart or heart. Now, if you observe, we have totally 4 chambers. Correct or not? Anybody? We have totally how many chambers here? I am saying
4 chambers.
4 chambers.
So totally 4 chambers I have. Sir, if you observe here, if I remove this wall, then this will become one chamber. This will become 1 chamber. Then why I am saying 4 chambers? Can you able to say, anybody? I am saying here something is separated, middle, something, these 2 chambers, upper chambers and lower chambers has been separated by some organ. What is that middle? You can see.
Septum.
So
Septum.
Septum.
To prevent the mixing of
here you can see.
to prevent the mixing of oxygenated and
Here
deoxygenated.
you will observe, we have something which is separating the heart. This chambers has been separated by something which is gap. This is only we used to call it as what? Septum. We should call septum. So the septum is also we can call it as what? Wall partition. Like in our home, how the rooms has been separated by walls. Correct or not? Same way, this heart chambers also separated by some kind of substance. That is what we should call it as what? A wall partition known as what? Septum. All of you should remember. That is what we should call it as what? Septum. Septum. Please note it down. Septum. What is the use of septum? Which will separate the chambers. Correct or not? Please write it. The chambers of the heart are. The chambers of the heart are. The chambers are compartments. The chambers of the heart are separated by what? Separated by a partition. Wall partition, you can say. Wall partition called as, what is called as? Septum.
Septum.
So the septum, that is why we can say, this is also known as what? Wall partition. Wall partition. Note it down. Wall partition. Septum is also called as wall partition, which will separate the chambers of a heart. That is called as. This is also one of the important MCQ. Please note it down. One of the most important MCQ this question. Okay. So this is what it is. So 2 things I have taught you now. So they will ask you one MCQ question here. Which is the tissue which is protecting the muscular heart? What is the tissue name called as? Which is protecting muscular tissues, muscular heart?
Pericardia.
Which is separated. The chambers of heart has been separated by called as what?
Septum.
Called as septum. Wall partition. Septum. Now, let us discuss, as we know that in our heart, already two walls I have taught you. What is that walls, Ra? V1 and V2 wall. Correct or not? So, What is this wall's name? Actually, we have a 4 walls, V1, V2, V3, V4. But let it be,
Yes,
first
sir.
we'll study 2 walls names. Like Dina is waiting, actually, he's saying that. So the wall 1, name called as mitral wall, M-I-T-R-A-L, mitral wall. V1 is known as what? Mitral,
Mitral wall.
M-I-T-R-A-L, mitral. Please note it down. So this V1 is known as, this inlet wall is called as mitral, M-I-T-R-A-L, mitral wall. Note it down the name. All of you. Do you understand, Ra? Yes or no? Next, let us come to the V2. V2 is present in left side or right side? Left side or right side?
Left side.
V2. Left side.
Right side, sir. Right side.
Right side.
So that
Right
is called
side.
as tricuspid wall. Please note it down. Tricuspid. T-R-I-C-U-S-P-I-D. T-R-I-C-U-S-P-I-D. Tricuspid wall. This V2 is called as tricuspid wall. Please note it down. Very, very important names. So now the question will come like this. So before I said left atrium and left ventricle has been connected with V1. So that now instead of V1, what I can say, right? What I can say?
Mitral wall.
Atrium, you will get an MCQ
Mitral
question.
wall.
Atrium
Mitral
and
wall.
left ventricle has been connected
Mitral
by
wall.
called as what?
Mitral wall.
Mitral.
Mitral wall.
Mitral wall. Same way, right atrium and right ventricle has been connected with what?
Tricuspid wall.
Tricuspid wall. Remember, mitral wall,
Tricuspid wall.
tricuspid wall. Is it okay, Dina? Now? Yes or no, Dina? Note down the names. Next V3 and V4, when the situation will come, I will say. So this is what it is. So till here, any doubt, anybody, please ask me. Now, if you'll observe here, this chambers has been separated with some kind of wall partition. Just now we have studied that called as what? Septum. Correct or not?
Septum. Septum.
This is all about the heart and the chambers. So totally we have a 4 chambers in heart. 2 are called as arteria and the
Atrium.
ventricles.
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 Understanding, 2 substances means separated by a wall of partition called as septum, and 2 walls also called as mitral wall and as well as
Tricuspid wall.
tricuspid wall. Correct, V1 and V2. That's all. Now this is all about inside the heart. Next, if will coming, once the blood well has been pumped out from the lower chambers called as, what we should call ventricles.
Ventricles.
So,
Ventricles
it has been carried throughout the body by 3 parts. Understand? So what is that called as? What is it called as? Like a pump,
Capillaries.
like a pipes, like a tubes, we used to call them. They are called as
arteries, veins, and
vessels.
capillaries.
veins and capillaries. So these are the 3 things which are thin pipes, very thin pipes or tubes through which blood will flow in the body. Correct or not?
Yes, sir.
So, but
Yes,
because
sir.
which they are carrying, which are looks like a pipes and which they are carrying the blood. So that is why these ones we used to call them as what? We used to call them as blood vessels. What we
Blood
should call?
vessels. Blood vessels.
Blood vessels, because they will carry the blood throughout the body. That
Blood
is the reason.
throughout the body.
Now, if you observe here, arteries, not arteria. Arteria means upper chambers of heart. Now arteries, we have 3 things of blood vessels. One is arterias, next one is
Arteries.
Veins.
and next one is
Arteries.
Capillaries.
arteries. So if you take here arteries are the thick-walled blood vessels. Why? Anybody? Compared to the veins, the arteries, they are having little bit thickness is more. Can anybody to say anybody why? The reason
Sir,
behind?
because it contain oxygenated blood.
Because they have contained oxygen.
Because the blood's high pressure.
Not. They need to pump the blood with high pressure or low pressure.
High pressure.
With a high pressure. Do you understand? Because the blood which is pumping with a high pressure from the heart has been transported by these pipes only. So for example, you see, our motor pump is very, very high powerful, means they're high pressure. So that once the pipes also, when they're carrying the water, the pipes also much be stay stronger. If not, the pipes will break so that the water will come out. Have you noticed it? somewhere particularly in motor terms. When the water is coming very forcefully with high pressure, if the pipes are weak, then there the they will be broken, or else the water will start leaking from that place. Have you noticed it or not? So the same way here in the heart also the same thing, in our body also. So we have three kinds of blood vessels: arteries, veins, and capillaries. So these arteries, if we take, they are the thick-walled blood vessels because they will carry blood from where to where? They will carry the blood from heart to all the parts of the body.
All
That is
parts.
how to
All
remember.
parts of it.
Basically, we can call them as thin pipes. In that also, if you particularly consider arteries, understand?
Artery.
Arteries, if you consider, so these arteries are called as what? Thick walls.
Thick wall.
Walls. Why? Because they are the blood vessels which will carry blood from the heart to all the parts of the body. Thick walled because they will carry what? Carry blood from heart to all the parts of the body. All the parts of the body. So why? So let it be, they are transporting the blood. Then what is the reason? Why they must have been thicker? Why the walls must have been thicker? Tarani Pushpa Karthikeya. Why they must be thicker? Because the blood emerges. You understanding? So the arteries have thick walls because the blood which is emerges or come out from the heart under high pressure. So arteries they want to balance this high pressure which is pumped by the heart. They also must be very, very thick walls. So that is the reason. That is the reason why the arteries having thick walls. Nothing. So because why the blood which is coming out from the heart with what? Under high pressure.
High
pressure. Blood emerges from the heart. Blood emerges because blood emerges from heart. What is happening, Dina? Heart
under high pressure.
Heart under high pressure. Heart under high pressure. So if you want to resist this pressure, what it needs to do? If it wants to resist this pressure, it must have what? It must have thick walls. Correct or not?
Walls.
The reason behind it. If it wants to pump that blood which is coming with a high pressure from the heart, it must have thick walls. That's all. So these arteries are found, is it only near to the heart or throughout the body? Throughout the body. Tell me please, is it present only near the heart or throughout the body?
Throughout the body.
Throughout the body, sir. Throughout the body.
So these arteries are found in the whole of our body, and the main artery which is connected to the left ventricle of the heart through a valve V3, if you'll observe, that is called as some name we used to call as the main the main articles. What is that called as? Anybody can say? Human circulatory system. Where is the heart symbol? Yeah. So here, if you observe, the main artery which has been connected through V1, left atrium. This is the main one which will carry the blood throughout the body. What is that called as? Main artery. What is it called as? What is that name called as?
Pulmonary.
What?
Aorta.
Aorta.
What we should call? AORTA, aorta. Understand? Actually, O silent here. Aorta we can call. So that is what. So this is the main artery. This is also one of the MCQs. So what is the main artery which will carry the blood throughout the body, which will supply the blood throughout the body? That is called as what? Understanding? Aorta, AORTA. Please remember, all of you. Write it. The main artery is connected to the which one? Left ventricle or right ventricle? Left ventricle or right ventricle? Left or right?
Left, sir.
Left
Left,
ventricle.
Left,
Through
sir.
wall. Which wall? Wall V1 or V2? V1 or V2? Valve what?
V1,
Here
sir.
we have a V1 that is called as what? Mitral valve. So the main arteria, understanding the main artery which is connected to the left ventricle through the valve V1 is called as aorta. So which is connected to the left ventricle and to of the heart through the valve V3. So this the main artery only will carries the blood called as which blood? Oxygenated blood.
Oxygenated blood.
From the left ventricle to all the parts of the body,
All the parts.
except one part. All the parts of the body, blood has been carried by this main artery only, except for one part. What is that? What is that part? Anybody? Any idea? What?
Two lungs. Two lungs.
For
Two
the
lungs.
lungs. So except lungs, understanding. So the main one, the main artery, which is called as what? Aorta, which has been carrying
Aorta.
blood, which has been connected from left ventricle, connected to what? Connected to left ventricle. Left ventricle through wall V1. Through wall V1 is carried what? Which blood? Is carried
Oxygenated blood.
Oxygenated blood.
Oxygenated blood throughout the body parts except one part called as what? Oxygenated blood throughout the body except one part called as what?
Lungs.
Lungs.
Oxygenated blood, carried oxygenated blood throughout the body, throughout body except one organ called as lungs, that is except lungs. So lungs, some other thing will be carried out, that is what we will say. So that is what you have to remember. So oxygenated blood has been carried by, we used to call it as what is it called as? Aorta. The aorta is a main artery of our human circulatory system, because that is only will carry the oxygenated blood throughout our body parts. Correct or not? Yes or no? Now, coming to the another artery which is connected to the right ventricle. This name is much famous already. You all people know that. So the another artery, actually two arteries we have here, upper V3 and V4.
Pulmonary artery.
So V3.
Pulmonary artery, sir.
Yeah. Pulmonary
artery. Very good, all of you. Pulmonary artery. This is the only artery which will carry the deoxygenated blood. Remember this. Correct or not? Special case. All the arteries will carry what? Oxygenated or deoxygenated blood. All the arteries.
Oxygenated blood.
So
Oxygenated blood, sir.
artery, understanding, every arteries are connected, transport oxygenated blood. So except one, what is that? Pulmonary
Pulmonary artery.
Pulmonary artery.
which will carry the deoxygenated blood. Deoxy, understanding? Deoxygenated blood, understanding? Oxygenated blood through for water to lungs. And which is connected to which one? Right ventricle. What is that?
Right ventricle. Right ventricle.
Very
ventricle.
important. Understanding. So now, two arteries I have taught you. Two main arteries. What are that?
Pulmonary artery and aorta,
Pulmonary
sir.
artery. Understanding. Pulmonary artery and aorta. Understand? Aorta. So this aorta has been connected to the left ventricle of the heart through which wall? Wall V3 or V4? V3 or V4? Here you can observe here. We have a V3 wall. Have you noticed it? Here V3 wall and here we have V4 wall. So through V4 wall, who has been connected? Pulmonary wall.
Pulmonary
Artery.
And through V3, who is connected? The main artery.
Aorta.
Main artery called as aorta. So the aorta will carry oxygenated blood. This is what the main important artery which will carry the oxygenated blood throughout the body, except for lungs. So lungs, another artery which is bring them, understand, which will carry the deoxygenated blood. What is that blood called as? Deoxygenated blood.
Deoxygenated blood.
From which part? Right ventricle. Where?
Right ventricle.
Right ventricle through the wall.
Right
which wall?
ventricle.
Which wall it is?
V4.
What is that one
V4.
called as?
V4.
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 Also remember V4, that is only called as deoxygenated blood. So this deoxygenated blood carried by only one artery, that is called as pulmonary artery, which is connected to the right ventricle of the heart through the another wall, V4. So this pulmonary artery carries deoxygenated blood from the right ventricle to the where?
Lungs.
Lungs.
That is. Do you understand, Ingra? That is. So
Yes, sir.
so this is what about 4 chambers and walls V1, V2, V3 and V4. Now, as we have understood, oxygenated blood has been carried by the help of aorta and deoxygenated blood has been transported with the help of pulmonary artery to the lungs. That's all. Now,
Lungs.
again, deoxygenated blood from the throughout the body, who will bring back to the heart how it has been understanding, back to the heart how it has been converting into understanding oxygenated blood, how it has been again transported from the lungs, who is bringing back. These all the things we'll study in the next class. Now, please, all of you, only note down what is the names of V3 and V4. Please write it. V3 and V4 names. V3 and V4 names. V3 and V4 names. Already V1, V2, what is the names, Ra? V1, V2, what is the names?
Mitral and tricuspid.
And tricuspid valve.
Now, V3, V4, very simple. The names itself, the arteries names. What is that V3 valve? V3 valve is connected to whom? V3 valve is connected to whom?
Aorta.
Aorta.
That is why that is called as aortic valve. Please, all of you note it down. That's all. Aortic valve. Yeah, AORTIC, aortic valve. Here itself you write. V3 is called as what? V3 is known as what?
Aortic valve. Aortic valve.
Wall.
Aortic valve. Same way. Next one. V4 is connected to which one? Which artery?
Pulmonary artery.
Pulmonary artery.
Right. Pulmonary valve. Pulmonary valve. Pulmonary valve. That's all. This V4. V4 is called as what? Where I have written V4, aortic valve, and V4 is equals to what?
Pulmonary valve.
Pulmonary valve. You understanding, all of you? So this is
Yes,
all
sir.
about this understanding V1, V2, V3, V4. Dina, have you remember the names? These 4 names are very, very important for our exams also. Please kindly all of you remember these 4 names perfectly and where they are located. They will ask you, V1 is located between where? V4 is located between where? Then where, what you have to say? That is what you have to remember. So V4 is located where? Anybody?
V4 is located in right ventricle, sir.
It
Right
is present
ventricle.
right ventricle and the
Right
pulmonary artery.
Pulmonary artery.
You understanding? Right ventricle.
Pulmonary artery.
Pulmonary artery. Like that if you take V1, mitral valve. Mitral valve is what? Located between the left atrium and the left ventricle. Correct or not?
Left ventricle.
Atrium. Chamber. Do you understand it?
Yes, sir. Sir.
Or not? That is what. Okay. So that is what you have to remember it. So this is all about today's class. With this I will stop. Then tomorrow we'll study how this network is connected, how these capillaries are working, what is the use of veins, how they are coming back, the blood is coming back. That is all. So before veins, we have to study capillaries. Vaira, anybody? Before veins, we have to study capillaries because arteries and veins are connected by small, extremely narrow tubes, middle, like a mediators. That is what we should call it as what? What we should call? What we should call? Arteries and veins are connected by a thin walls, middle. That is only we used to call it as what? Nobody will say. What is that? Another type of ray, another type of that one. 3 types of blood vessels, correct? So middle
Capillary.
So
Sir, vein.
So somebody will carry oxygenated blood, somebody will bring deoxygenated blood, but middle both are connected with something, mediator. That is what we should call it as what? Capillaries. Do you understand?
Capillary.
All of you.
Yes,
You
sir.
have noted down that. That is what. So from here, there we will study tomorrow. So let it be. So with this, I will stop the today's class. So today totally we have discussed the main things regarding